Today we're taking a look at my top 5 favorite creatures in the Tome of Beasts II. These are, again, my personal favorites and aren't being judged on any other merits, but let's not waste time on that. Let's jump right into the monsters. We're going to start with the Luck Leech. The Luck Leech is a really creepy critter that will make your players absolutely hate him. If your players have been spamming silvery barbs throughout your campaign, this will give them a bit of a dose of their own medicine. These guys have a pool of luck points, not to be confused with the Tales of the Valiant luck system, but luck points that they can use for several cool benefits with a bonus action, like gaining advantage on all their attacks or forcing a spellcaster to roll a concentration check on a spell they're concentrating on. Their nastiest ability, though, is this Feast of Fortune ability that not only deals psychic damage, but also blinds you and inflicts a curse on you that prevents you from adding your proficiency bonus to attack rolls or ability checks until you roll a nat 20. If your dice are already cursed like mine seem to be, that could be a really long time. And seriously, it's hard to see this, but I gotta hold this up. These guys have little, like, leech things on their arms that are super gross, and yeah, they're just nasty. But from there, we're going to move on to the Magnetic Elemental. This book has several elemental creatures that are variants and go beyond the typical air, fire, earth, and water standbys that we're used to. But the one that stands out above all the others in my book is this, the Magnetic Elemental. This creature draws metal objects to itself, and it has an edge against creatures using metal like as weapons or armor. It also has a magnetic pulse ability that it can use to either push or pull nearby metal objects, causing force damage or trapping weapons so they can't be used in subsequent turns. There are a lot of cool ways you can use this creature's abilities to influence the battlefield and mess with your players. Just think, what would Magneto do, and let your imagination run wild as you torment your players with all the weapon stealing abilities of this creature. From there we go over to number 3 on the list, which is the Wereshark. Now the Wereshark is one of my favorites for what many would consider a very silly reason. I think I was one of the very few kids in the world that actually enjoyed the cartoon. So these creatures in my games have a burrowing speed in addition to a swim speed, and they probably have more in common with bullays than actual sharks. But seriously, I just can't look at this picture and not think of Okay, I'm done. Just moving right along. Number 2 on my list is the Scroll Mummy. If the spellcasters among your players are feeling a little too confident, the Scroll Mummy is the perfect opponent to throw at them. Lore-wise, these guys are basically just mummies that were made with magical scrolls, but their abilities bring that lore to life in a big way. If they hit a spellcaster, they can steal their spell slots, and then cast the spell that they stole from them themselves. It's a really sweet combination of abilities that will keep your spellcasters on their toes for sure. And last but not least, we go to the Fey Revenant on page 150. Now once you see this creature, if you know me at all, you're going to know exactly why I love this one so much. You might look at this and assume it's just a Drider by another name, and honestly, I'm enough of a sucker for Underdark monsters that it would probably make my list even if that were all there is to it. But this is such a fun and flavorful upgrade to the Drider that it's easily my favorite creature in the book, and would be even if I wasn't obsessed with the Underdark. These things are super cool. They teleport around the battlefield, they can see through magical darkness, they can spider climb as usual. They have a cool icy web grappling attack called the Queen's Grasp that does cold damage in addition to restraining you when they hit you. They also have a thorny body that damages anyone who hits them in melee. I mean, what's not to like about these creatures? And while I admittedly like these a lot just because they're basically Driders, the description reads that their bottom halves can be insects as well, so these are reflavored for the Midgard setting. And if you use the lure like it's in here, then you could have these show up as like really weird and interesting combinations of centaur bugs. I mean, imagine one of these with the bottom half of a ladybug. That would be really odd. Or maybe a lightning bug. That would be really interesting too. Whatever the case, there's a lot of different ways you can go with these, and they're super flavorful, super fun, and definitely an upgrade to the tried and true Drider that we all love and adore, or love to hate at worst. And there we have it.